Nestled deep within the rugged landscape of Karnataka, India, a land already rich in ancient history and archaeological wonders, stands Malyabad Fort, a colossal enigma that throws into sharp relief the limitations of our current understanding of the past. While officially attributed to the 13th century Delhi Sultanate, a closer examination of this monumental structure reveals a narrative far more complex, more ancient, and potentially revolutionary. Malyabad Fort is not merely a medieval bastion. It's a palimpsest of history, with layers of occupation and construction that hint at a civilization lost to time. A civilization capable of feats of engineering that defy conventional explanations.
The immediate and overwhelming challenge to the accepted narrative comes from the fort's perimeter walls. Imagine a structure that stretches for a staggering 5 kilometers, encircling a vast area. These aren't the typical, relatively modest fortifications of medieval India. These walls rise almost 10 meters in height, a formidable barrier constructed from granite blocks of truly colossal proportions. Some of these blocks reach lengths of 6 meters and weigh multiple tons, dwarfing the stones used in most historical fortifications. But it's not just the size that's remarkable, it's the method of construction. This is cyclopean masonry, a technique characterized by the use of massive, irregularly shaped stones, fitted together with an almost unbelievable precision without any mortar or binding agent whatsoever. The stones are interlocked so perfectly, so seamlessly, that the joints are virtually invisible. As the saying goes, you couldn't slip a blade of grass between them. This isn't the work of hasty construction. It's a testament to an almost incomprehensible level of skill and planning. They also possess amazing resilience to earthquakes. This type of masonry is profoundly significant because it's not characteristic of the Delhi Sultanate, nor of any other known medieval Indian power. Instead, it bears a striking, undeniable resemblance to the cyclopean walls found at ancient megalithic sites across the globe. Consider Sacsayhuaman, the colossal Inca fortress near Cusco, Peru. The similarities are uncanny. The same massive, irregularly shaped stones, the same perfect interlocking, the same absence of mortar. The parallels extend to Mycenaean Greece, with its Lion Gate and the treasury of Atreus, to the enigmatic stone platforms of Easter Island, and to numerous other sites scattered across the continents. This raises a fundamental and deeply unsettling question. Is this global distribution of cyclopean masonry a mere coincidence, a case of independent invention across vastly different cultures and time periods? Or does it point to something far more profound? A shared cultural heritage, a lost technological tradition, or perhaps even a forgotten, globally connected civilization that predates our current understanding of history? The granite itself presents another layer of the puzzle. Granite is notoriously difficult to work, even with modern tools and machinery. It's incredibly hard and resistant to shaping. To quarry blocks of the size found at Malyabad, to transport them over significant distances, the quarry source remains unknown. And then to lift and precisely position them with such accuracy would have required an extraordinary level of social organization, engineering knowledge, and technological capability. Consider the logistics. How are these multi-ton blocks extracted from the earth? What tools were used? How were they moved across the terrain, potentially over considerable distances? And most crucially, how were they lifted into place and fitted together with such breathtaking precision? The accepted 13th century timeline simply doesn't offer a plausible explanation for these feats. The Delhi Sultanate, while skilled builders, primarily worked with smaller, more manageable stones and employed mortar-based construction techniques. Their architectural style, heavily influenced by Persian and Central Asian traditions, favored arches, domes, and intricate decorative elements, features conspicuously absent from the core structure of Malyabad's walls. The stones are smoothly polished on their faces, meaning they offer no easy footholds. The construction goes beyond the surface level. The exterior of perfectly fitted granite is backed by another layer of stone, which is then backed by rubble. This is similar to the Romans' opus caementicium, however, without the cement. The 13th century was a period of significant upheaval and transformation in India. The Delhi Sultanate, a powerful Islamic empire originating from Central Asia, had extended its dominion across much of the subcontinent, establishing a new political and cultural order. These were undoubtedly skilled administrators and builders, responsible for impressive mosques, tombs, and fortifications. It's entirely plausible, and indeed highly probable, that the Sultanate utilized Malyabad Fort, recognizing its strategic importance. The fort's location, commanding access to the surrounding region and controlling key trade routes, would have made it an invaluable asset. It likely served as a military garrison, protecting the Sultanate's borders from rivals and potential invaders, particularly the ever-present threat of Mongol incursions. It would also have functioned as an administrative center, a place for collecting taxes, enforcing laws, and projecting the Sultanate's power into the local populace. The presence of marketplaces and trade routes nearby would have further enhanced the fort's importance as a hub of commerce and communication. However, while the Sultanate certainly occupied and likely modified Malyabad Fort, the overwhelming evidence suggests that they did not build its core structure, the Cyclopean walls. The architectural style, the construction techniques, and the sheer scale of the undertaking are simply incompatible with the Sultanate's known capabilities and building practices. They may have added to the fort, repaired sections, or built secondary structures, but the foundational elements point to a far older, far more mysterious origin. Beyond the Cyclopean masonry itself, numerous other anomalies further challenge the official narrative and point towards a prehistoric origin for Malyabad Fort. Within the vicinity of the fort lies a Shiva temple, a site of religious significance. While temples are often renovated and rebuilt over centuries, the exquisite craftsmanship of the black granite Nandi statue and the Shiva lingam within this temple raises questions. The polished surfaces and intricate details suggest a level of artistry and precision that seems incongruous with the 13th century context. Even more intriguing, discovered remnants of prehistoric stone blocks within and around the temple, bearing what appear to be machine-like marks and cuts, impossibly precise for hand tools. These markings, if authenticated, would further strengthen the case for a prehistoric origin. Malyabad Fort stands as a profound challenge to conventional historical timelines and a testament to the potential for undiscovered, advanced civilizations in our ancient past. The evidence, while circumstantial in some respects, strongly suggests that the accepted 13th century dating only accounts for a later phase of the fort's history, a period of occupation and modification by the Delhi Sultanate. The core structure, particularly the Cyclopean walls, exhibits characteristics that unequivocally point towards a far more ancient origin, possibly predating any known civilization in the region. At first glance, the pyramids seem like the triumph of manpower alone. Tens of thousands of workers, ramps stretching to the sky, and endless hours of toil under the blazing sun. But the numbers don't add up. Some limestone blocks weigh more than 15 tons, and the granite stones from Aswan tip the scales at over 70. How could these stones have been lifted, transported, and positioned with such precision? The answer may not lie in muscle, but in water. Here's the shocking part. Scattered throughout Egypt are clues that suggest the civilization may have harnessed hydraulics thousands of years before the technology was officially invented. Take the underground chambers of the Great Pyramid. Recent scans using cosmic ray muons revealed not just hidden voids, but curious architectural features that may have once acted as water channels. Could it be that the pyramid's core was designed not only for symbolic meaning, but also as part of a hydraulic machine? Some researchers argue that rising and falling water could have created pressure to help lift blocks, or to power internal mechanisms we still don't understand. Transition now to the Nile itself. Every year, its flood waters surged across the land, replenishing fields and dictating the rhythms of Egyptian life. But what if those floods also provided the perfect conditions for large-scale engineering? Archaeologists have recently uncovered remains of ancient canals and harbors near the pyramids, suggesting that stones may have been floated directly to construction sites. But what if the water's role didn't stop there? Imagine hydraulic locks and channels designed to raise blocks closer to the pyramid's base, reducing the need for impossible ramps. Could this be the missing link in pyramid construction? The evidence deepens when we explore the Temple of Seti Vurst at Abydos. Within its foundations, researchers have identified mysterious channels that appear to have been designed for the controlled movement of water. Some even believe these channels formed part of an ancient hydraulic system capable of powering tools or lifting mechanisms. The precision of the temple's carvings, so clean they almost look machined, adds weight to the idea that water pressure could have been harnessed for more than just irrigation. But the most tantalizing hint lies beneath the sands of Giza. In 2023, ground-penetrating radar revealed traces of a buried waterway that once ran closer to the pyramids than previously believed. This discovery aligns perfectly with ancient records describing how the Egyptians floated colossal stones as if on rafts. Could this channel have fed into an intricate system of basins and reservoirs, effectively turning the pyramid site into a giant hydraulic workshop? Skeptics argue that such theories overstate the evidence. They point to ramps, both straight and zigzagging, as the most plausible explanation. Yet even here, water seeps into the story. Experiments have shown that when sand is dampened to just the right degree, it cuts friction nearly in half, making it dramatically easier to drag massive blocks. Was this a deliberate technique? In other words, the Egyptians may have used water not only to transport, but to manipulate the very physics of friction. A simple, elegant solution hidden in plain sight. And then there are the mysterious watermarks found inside the Osireion at Abydos, an underground temple cut deep into bedrock. Its massive stone pillars show evidence of long exposure to rising and falling water. But this site is miles from the Nile. Could it have been deliberately flooded, forming part of a hydraulic ritual, or perhaps an experiment in controlling subterranean water pressure? Some researchers even speculate the Osireion may have been designed as a symbolic model of the underworld, but with practical engineering woven into its very stones. What makes this story even more fascinating is how it connects Egypt to other ancient civilizations. The Minoans, the Romans, and even the Persians used hydraulic technology to build aqueducts, baths, and irrigation systems. But Egypt predates them all. Could the Egyptians have pioneered hydraulic engineering long before it became common knowledge? If so, why does their use of it vanish from history, leaving only whispers in stone and sand? The idea becomes even harder to dismiss when we consider the extraordinary precision of Egyptian monuments. The Great Pyramid is aligned almost perfectly to true north, a feat requiring mathematical genius. But aligning blocks weighing dozens of tons with millimeter accuracy, that requires more than genius. It suggests technology. Whether that was mechanical ramps, counterweights, or water-driven hydraulics, the evidence continues to grow that the Egyptians knew more about engineering than we've given them credit for. As we step back and view the grand sweep of Egypt's achievements, the role of water feels impossible to ignore. The Nile wasn't just their lifeline. It may have been their power source, their transport network, even their secret tool of construction. Imagine the pyramids not as static tombs, but as humming, fluid-powered machines, where water pressure rose and fell like the pulse of the earth itself. The truth is, we may never know exactly how the Egyptians built their colossal monuments, but with each discovery, whether it's a buried canal, a hidden chamber, or a water-scarred temple, the story of hydraulic technology in ancient Egypt grows more compelling. Far from being a civilization frozen in time, they emerge as pioneers, harnessing natural forces in ways that leave us astonished today. So the next time you gaze at the pyramids, remember this: those stones may not have been lifted by mere muscle. They may have risen with the silent, unstoppable force of water, technology both ancient and yet still barely understood. We've seen how the Egyptians may have mastered forms of hydraulic technology that still puzzle modern engineers. But what happens when archaeologists uncover evidence of systems so advanced they seem impossible for their time? In our next investigation, we'll explore hydraulic technology in Egypt that, by all logic, shouldn't even exist.
Deep within the desert sands of Abydos, Egypt, approximately 350 miles south of the Giza Plateau, lies a structure that continues to confound archaeologists and historians: the Osireion. Officially attributed to Pharaoh Seti, the first of the 19th dynasty, circa 1290 to 1279 BCE. This enigmatic monument presents a series of architectural, logistical, and hydrological anomalies that strongly suggest a far older and potentially pre-dynastic origin. The Osireion's mysteries challenge the conventional timeline of ancient Egyptian civilization and raise profound questions about the capabilities of cultures that may have predated the pharaohs.
The Osireion's design is a radical departure from the established norms of Egyptian temple architecture. Throughout the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms, Egyptian temples such as Karnak at Thebes, dedicated to Amun-Re and expanded over centuries, primarily from the Middle Kingdom onward, and the Luxor Temple, largely constructed during the New Kingdom by Amenhotep III and Ramesses II, adhered to a predominantly linear and rectangular layout. These temples typically featured pylons, hypostyle halls, sanctuaries, and courtyards, all arranged along a central axis. The Osireion, in contrast, possesses a unique L-shaped configuration, a feature not found in any other known Egyptian temple of the dynastic period. This fundamental difference in design raises critical questions about its intended purpose and the cultural context in which it was built. Was it designed for a different set of rituals, perhaps connected to a belief system distinct from the well-documented Egyptian pantheon? Furthermore, the Osireion's construction employs colossal rose granite blocks, some weighing an estimated 100 tons. These stones were quarried in Aswan, located over 200 miles south of Abydos. While the ancient Egyptians were undeniably skilled engineers, evidenced by the construction of the pyramids, primarily during the Old Kingdom, 4th dynasty, the transportation and precise placement of such massive blocks, especially granite, in a location relatively far from the Nile River, presents a formidable logistical challenge. The Nile served as the primary highway of ancient Egypt, facilitating the transport of heavy materials. The Old Kingdom Egyptians, who built the Giza pyramids, primarily used limestone, which is softer and easier to quarry and work than granite. While they did use granite for specific elements, like portcullises and some sarcophagi, the scale of its use in the Osireion is unprecedented for such an early period, according to mainstream dating. Granite, being an exceptionally hard igneous rock, requires specialized tools and techniques to shape and manipulate. While the Egyptians of the dynastic periods possessed copper tools, and later bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, becoming more common during the Middle Kingdom, the working of such large granite blocks with these tools, achieving such precision, remains a subject of intense debate. Some researchers suggest that the level of craftsmanship displayed in the Osireion points to a technology beyond what is currently attributed to the early dynastic or even Old Kingdom Egyptians.
Could the astonishing Kailasa temple at the Ellora Caves, carved meticulously from a single massive rock, truly be the work of mere mortal hands?
There is a particular seal that has survived, and it shows a figure which is recognizable as the god Shiva.
This ancient architectural marvel, built in the 8th century under the patronage of King Krishna of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, stands as a monument not only to devotion and artistry, but also to an engineering prowess that seems almost superhuman.
I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world, and we don't understand them properly.
With its elaborate carvings and grand scale, the Kailasa temple has sparked a captivating debate. Was this colossal structure really constructed using primitive tools of the age, or does it bear evidence of intervention by an advanced civilization, possibly beyond our earthly realm?
Some people think that the answer is extraterrestrial visitors. I don't think that's the answer, but who knows?
Tucked away in the basaltic hills of Maharashtra, the Ellora Caves complex is an architectural marvel of ancient India. Spanning from 600 to 1000 AD, these caves house a remarkable blend of Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain heritage. Among them, Cave 16, better known as the Kailasa Temple, stands out as the crowning glory of the site. Historically referred to as Veril, the area's location along ancient north-south trade routes undoubtedly played a critical role in its development. The Kailasa Temple, known for being the largest monolithic rock excavation in the world, showcases the advanced state of engineering and architectural skills during the 8th century. This temple was not built but rather carved top-down from a single massive rock, requiring meticulous planning and execution that speaks volumes about the capabilities of its creators.
There are unexplained issues in our past, which are presently not explained by the system that teaches us about the past.
Under the patronage of King Krishna I of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, the temple was commissioned around the mid-8th century. King Krishna I, also known as Krishna Rajanram, embarked on this ambitious project to emulate the sacred Mount Kailash, the mythological abode of Lord Shiva. The temple not only served as a place of worship, but also as a demonstration of the power and artistic aspiration of the Rashtrakutas. During a period of British colonial expansion in India, British officers often ventured on expeditions for leisure and exploration. It was during one such excursion that the lush, overgrown vegetation of the Maharashtra region, which had concealed the Ellora caves for centuries, finally gave way to one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in India.
A lot of archaeology that gets done doesn't get done because of a targeted search.
The year was 1819, and the caves, untouched and perfectly preserved as if in a time capsule, were stumbled upon accidentally by Captain John Smith and his party. The discovery by Captain Smith wasn't merely about uncovering a lost site, it was a revelation that peeled back the layers of India's rich and ancient civilization, which had thrived long before European powers set foot in the region. As Smith entered the caves, he was confronted with the grandeur of India's past, an intact cultural heritage that spoke volumes of its historical depth and complexity. However, Captain Smith left behind more than just the memory of his discovery. In what is now viewed as an act of historical vandalism, he inscribed his name and the date on a pillar inside Cave 10. At the time, such actions were common among explorers, who often left their marks as records of their presence. This graffiti, though frowned upon today, provided a tangible record marking the European discovery of the site and has since become a point of contention in discussions about heritage preservation versus the historical markers of colonial exploration. Following this accidental discovery, there was a renewed interest in the Ellora caves, leading to more systematic explorations and excavations. The Archaeological Survey of India, established in 1861, took on the mammoth task of excavating and preserving these ancient sites. Their efforts were crucial in maintaining the structural integrity and historical accuracy of the caves as they faced the dual pressures of time and increasing tourism. Detailed studies and documentation efforts were spearheaded by early explorers and scholars like James Burgess and later Ghulam Yazdani. Their meticulous work in cataloguing the sculptures, iconography, and architectural styles has been compiled into extensive reports and books, which remain invaluable resources for Indological studies today. This comprehensive documentation helps ensure that the Ellora caves, including the magnificent Kailasa Temple, continue to be understood and appreciated not just as monuments, but as gateways to India's illustrious past. The Kailasa Temple, also known as Cave 16 at the Ellora Caves, truly stands as a testament to the ancient mastery of rock-cut architecture. This stunning structure isn't just a testament to grandeur, but also to a unique construction methodology that melds religious devotion with unmatched craftsmanship. Unlike traditional buildings constructed from the ground up, this temple was carved directly out of a single massive rock, a process that required not only extreme labor but also precise planning. The effort to remove approximately 200,000 tons of rock from the site underscores the monumental human endeavor that went into its creation, likely involving hundreds, if not thousands, of laborers across several generations.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization, of prehistory.
Symbolically, the temple mirrors Mount Kailasa, the mythical abode of Lord Shiva, suggesting that the architects intended to create a heavenly abode on earth. This ambition is evident not just in the temple's scale, but also in its elaborate multi-storied design, which features a rare vertical expansion in rock-cut architecture. Each floor is intricately adorned with carvings and statues that bring to life stories from Hindu mythology, especially those focusing on Lord Shiva, enhancing both the religious and aesthetic appeal of the temple. Comparing the Kailasa temple to the ancient city of Petra in Jordan highlights its unique features. While Petra is renowned for its impressive facades carved into rock faces, the Kailasa temple goes a step further. It is not just a facade, but a complete excavation, with intricate vertical carvings that make its interiors as spectacular as its exteriors. Unlike Petra's relatively plain interiors, the Kailasa temple is elaborately detailed, with entire floors, columns and ceilings that are ornately decorated to reflect Hindu religious themes. The engineering behind the Kailasa temple also addresses some significant challenges, such as maintaining structural integrity while removing massive volumes of rock. The architects and engineers employed their deep understanding of geology and engineering to ensure the stability and durability of the remaining structures. They even incorporated an ingenious drainage system to prevent water accumulation and erosion during the region's heavy monsoon seasons. Moreover, strategic placements of openings and alignments within the temple structure allow natural light to flood its interiors, enhancing the spiritual and aesthetic experience for visitors. The layout also facilitates the circulation of air and movement of devotees, crucial during religious ceremonies. These intriguing aspects of the Kailasa temple, combined with the mysteries surrounding its construction, have fueled various theories about its origins and the techniques used in its elaborate design. From theories suggesting extraterrestrial influence to speculations about advanced ancient technologies or a network of secret chambers, the temple continues to be a subject of fascination and scholarly debate.
I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
These discussions not only celebrate the architectural genius of the temple's creators, but also deepen our appreciation for this ancient marvel. Exploring the mysteries of the Kailasa temple at a more refined level reveals a range of fascinating theories that try to explain its incredible construction. One such theory suggests that the technology and precision required for its creation in the 8th century might hint at extraterrestrial influence or the use of advanced ancient technology that has since been lost. While this idea captivates the imagination, most scholars and archaeologists believe that the temple's construction was well within the capabilities of human ingenuity at the time, pointing to similar rock-cutting techniques used across India long before the temple was built. Another intriguing theory about the Kailasa temple involves the possibility of a network of secret tunnels and chambers beneath the complex. Local legends and some speculative reports suggest that these could have served as passages for religious ceremonies or as escape routes during invasions. However, thorough archaeological investigations have yet to confirm these claims, and the natural rocky terrain of the area makes such an extensive network rather unlikely. The alignment of the Kailasa temple with celestial bodies forms yet another theory. Some believe that the temple, like many ancient structures, was designed in alignment with certain stars or planets to harness cosmic energies during significant astronomical events, such as solstices and equinoxes. While there are notable celestial alignments at other ancient sites that lend some support to this theory, concrete evidence linking the Kailasa temple's orientation with celestial events remains elusive. As these theories continue to pique curiosity and scholarly debate, the significance of preserving such a monumental site has never been clearer. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Ellora Caves, including the Kailasa Temple, are the focus of ongoing preservation efforts. These efforts are crucial in protecting the site's intricate carvings and magnificent structures from both natural elements and the impacts of modern-day tourism, ensuring that this ancient marvel can be appreciated for generations to come.
What if a large share of the Great Pyramid's limestone wasn't quarried as blocks at all, but cast like concrete? That's the controversial geopolymer theory proposed by chemist Joseph Davidovits. He argues that many stones were made from a wet mineral slurry, an early synthetic limestone, poured into molds and hardened directly on the pyramid. The argument begins at the microscopic level. Davidovits says some pyramid samples contain tiny trapped air bubbles, plus organic fibers such as human hair, clues that make more sense if the material was mixed wet. He also describes unusual chemical phases, including amorphous silica, that he claims don't belong in natural limestone. when he examined a small Great Pyramid casing stone sample, often called the Lauer sample. He reported not only bubbles and fibers, but even bits of animal bone and teeth. Foreign inclusions that would be shocking inside rock formed over millions of years, but not shocking inside a man-made mix. In Davidovit's model, the casting isn't factory production. Blocks are molded right where they're meant to sit, using three-sided wooden forms braced against already finished stones. The fresh mix cures into the exact shape of its neighbors, naturally creating the kind of tight joints the pyramid is famous for, sometimes described as so precise that a sheet of paper or even a hair can't pass between blocks. Could Old Kingdom Egypt have pulled that off? Davidovits argues the ingredients were available: abundant limestone, clays from the Nile floodplain, lime/quicklime, and natron, a natural soda ash, from dry lake beds. Egyptians also made advanced mineral products like faience, silica-based mixtures using natron and lime, showing they understood reactive mineral recipes long before modern chemistry put names to them. A geological detail often cited involves fossils. Giza limestone is nummulitic, packed with fossil shells that in undisturbed rock usually lie in orderly layers. In some pyramid blocks, observers say the fossil fragments appear jumbled at random angles, which could happen if fossil-rich limestone was crushed, mixed into a wet paste, and reformed in a mold. The theory also offers solutions to practical puzzles. If many blocks were cast, you'd need fewer armies of stonecutters and fewer copper tools. Interesting because excavations at Giza haven't produced vast piles of worn-out copper chisels that some would expect from non-stop carving. And casting could reduce the need to haul millions of multi-ton blocks up enormous ramps. Crews could carry baskets of damp limestone mush and buckets of binder upward as construction rose, then pour blocks in place. Davidovit's team has even demonstrated hand-mixed re-agglomerated limestone using only natural materials, compacted into wooden molds, producing blocks with tight joints. But the geopolymer theory has major gaps. The Great Pyramid contains roughly 500 to 800 granite blocks, some up to about 80 tons, and granite cannot be geopolymer cast. Davidovits accepts those were quarried and hauled from Aswan for beams and relieving chambers. Critics also question scale. Casting millions of blocks would require huge water supplies, binders, controlled mixing, and logistics on an industrial level. And there's the most damaging issue: direct evidence. No wooden molds, mixing yards, geopolymer waste, residues, or explicit instructions describing stone casting have been found at Giza, even though other Egyptian technologies were well recorded. Technical objections remain too. Casting needs curing time, potentially creating bottlenecks. Many geologists report that most blocks closely match natural Giza limestone in composition and sedimentary texture, implying the majority were quarried. Many stones also show tool marks consistent with cutting and dressing. Marks casting wouldn't automatically produce. A middle position is often linked to materials scientist Michel Barsoum, who published a notable study in 2006 arguing that at least some pyramid stones show a non-natural binding phase. Under microscopy, he reported a disordered glass-like material gluing particles together, with silicon-rich components mixed unusually closely with limestone minerals. He also pointed to higher water content and hydrated mineral forms more consistent with a wet mixture that hardened quickly. Other clues sometimes cited include salt within the stone. Accounts say pyramid passages were coated in salt crystals when entered in the 9th century, and even possible magnetic alignment differences between blocks, which some interpret as a mix of cast-in-place and quarried stones. Some researchers, including your channel's broader viewpoint, go further, arguing that if advanced casting was used, it could hint at knowledge inherited from an earlier, pre-dynastic civilization, and that the pyramids served purposes beyond tombs. For this segment, though, the geopolymer question is challenging enough even inside the standard Old Kingdom timeline. Were the Egyptians already experimenting with synthetic stone? So where does that leave us? Even if the Great Pyramid is mostly quarried limestone, the geopolymer debate sharpens the mystery. Did the builders also use material science, selectively, to solve lifting, precision, or workflow problems? If the answer is some, then the pyramid isn't only a monument of labor and surveying, but a quieter experiment in ancient chemistry, hiding in plain sight.
You know, the Sphinx gets described as a gateway. Like, there is a lot of legitimate reasons to think that there's something below that structure. They had gone in under the Sphinx and looked at chambers, and they found chambers beneath the Sphinx. Like, they 100% found chambers beneath the Sphinx. In the Sphinx temple, when you go in there, there is indeed evidence for shafts that go down. I think if there are chambers down there, and if there's anything in them, or there was, it's long gone.
Did you know about the mysterious Osiris shaft hidden within the Giza Plateau? This fascinating archaeological site, often overshadowed by the grandeur of the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, harbors secrets of ancient Egyptian civilization. Though known since the late 19th century, it remained largely ignored as explorers focused on more prominent monuments. But the Osiris shaft has its own story, one that has gradually unfolded over time. It wasn't until the 1990s that the Osiris shaft began to receive the attention it deserved, thanks to the efforts of Zahi Hawass, a name familiar to many.
He's documented the fact that Zahi's been enabling kind of secret expeditions digging and drilling around the Sphinx since the 1970s.
Under his direction, a thorough exploration was undertaken, revealing the shaft's complex architecture and its connection to ancient Egyptian religious thought. However, accessing the deepest parts of the Osiris shaft wasn't easy. The team had to overcome the significant challenge of draining the water that had flooded its lower levels, particularly the third level, which was partially submerged.
The same story of a great flood, which brought a former age of the world to an end.
The effort required to bring in modern equipment and remove the water was immense, but it was crucial to unveiling the shaft's hidden secrets. The Osiris shaft, with its 3 levels descending deep into the earth, turned out to be a remarkable puzzle of architecture, burial customs, and hidden treasures. The design itself is a marvel of ancient engineering, with each level serving a unique purpose. At the bottom, a large stone sarcophagus rests in a chamber partially filled with water, evoking the ancient Egyptian underworld. It's as if the Egyptians constructed their version of the afterlife deep within the Giza Plateau. The second level, with its 6 empty burial shafts, adds to the mystery. Were they looted, or were they never intended to hold anything? This level offers insights into burial practices and rituals, though some aspects remain unclear. Despite the absence of inscriptions that could pinpoint who built the shaft and when, the artifacts discovered within, pottery shards, fragments of stone vessels, and other small items, suggest the Osiris shaft dates back to the New Kingdom period. These artifacts provide valuable clues, helping researchers piece together the history of this incredible structure. One of the most poignant discoveries was the mummified remains found in the smaller chambers surrounding the central sarcophagus. These remains offer a rare glimpse into the lives of ancient Egyptians, revealing details about their diets, lifestyles, and perhaps even their deaths. Let's take a moment to talk about Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of the afterlife, death, and rebirth. According to mythology, Osiris was betrayed by his brother Set, leading to a story of death, dismemberment, and resurrection that reads like an ancient epic. His wife, Isis, reassembled him and brought him back to life, making Osiris a symbol of the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The Osiris shaft is thought to be a 3-dimensional tribute to this epic tale.
But over here we have the god Osiris from Egypt, remembered by the ancient Egyptians as a bringer of the gifts of civilization.
At the shaft's deepest point, there's a chamber filled with water, believed to represent the underworld. Standing before the large stone sarcophagus, which symbolizes Osiris's tomb, one can almost feel the connection to his journey through death and his role as ruler of the afterlife. But why was such a place built? One theory is that the Osiris shaft served as a site for initiation rites, a kind of spiritual boot camp where participants underwent trials symbolizing death and rebirth, mirroring Osiris's experiences. These rites were believed to impart secret knowledge and bring about a spiritual transformation in the initiates. Some even speculate that the shaft's design was influenced by the stars, aligning with celestial bodies associated with Osiris and the afterlife. The shaft may have been a bridge between Earth and the heavens, representing the soul's journey after death. What's truly fascinating is how the structure of the Osiris shaft and the artifacts found within ancient texts like the Pyramid texts and the Book of the Dead. These texts offer a window into the Egyptian view of the afterlife, complete with references to water, boats, and the importance of sarcophagi. The shaft can be seen as a stone-bound version of these ancient scrolls, a tangible connection to the beliefs and rituals of a long-lost civilization. Buried deep within the limestone bedrock, the Osiris shaft is a three-level labyrinth that masterfully combines practicality with a touch of the mystical. Let's explore what makes the architecture of the Osiris shaft so intriguing. The design and construction of the shaft are nothing short of remarkable, showcasing the advanced planning and building techniques of the ancient Egyptians. The precision with which they carved out these chambers from the bedrock reflects their deep understanding of the earth beneath them. The entrance to the shaft is marked by a rectangular opening that leads to a vertical drop of about 10 meters. This isn't just a hole in the ground, it's a carefully crafted vertical shaft, requiring the removal of large amounts of limestone using tools made from harder stones and metals, ropes, and wooden scaffolding. This feat of engineering is a testament to the skills of the ancient builders. The first chamber encountered is modest, devoid of decorations or treasures. Its simplicity might have been intentional, serving as a waiting room or a space for preparing for something more profound deeper within, possibly purification rites. The real intrigue begins at the second level, where another shaft descends another 20 meters. This chamber is more complex, containing 6 empty burial shafts that have sparked much speculation. Were they looted, or were they always meant to be symbolic? These shafts could have been used for actual burials, or perhaps represented the journey to the afterlife. The third level is the most dramatic. Descending yet another shaft, now 30 meters below the surface, you find a large stone sarcophagus at the chamber's center. This chamber, partially filled with water from the natural aquifer, isn't just a burial place. It symbolizes Osiris's tomb, tying into themes of rebirth and purification in Egyptian mythology. Graham Hancock is a name that often sparks lively discussions about ancient civilizations. Known for his books like Fingerprints of the Gods and Magicians of the Gods, Hancock's theories often challenge mainstream archaeological narratives. Let's consider how Hancock's unconventional ideas might offer new insights into the mysterious Osiris shaft.
I think there's a lot more remains to be discovered under the Giza Plateau.
Yeah.
Hancock's theories often revolve around the idea of a lost advanced civilization, one that predates known history and possessed advanced knowledge of astronomy, architecture, and mathematics.
I believe that it's worth considering the possibility of a remote common ancestor, which passed down key information that was inherited by later cultures.
Hancock might suggest that the Osiris shaft, with its intricate design and possible astronomical alignments, serves as a time capsule from this sophisticated society. Could this ancient marvel be older than we think, or was it built with knowledge handed down from this enigmatic civilization? Hancock is also fascinated by how ancient structures align with the stars. While he hasn't specifically identified the Osiris shaft in his star maps, it's easy to imagine it fitting into his broader theories. Could the shaft's orientation indicate a connection to celestial events or constellations associated with Osiris and themes of death and rebirth?
That is who Osiris is. His image is seen in the sky as the constellation of Orion.
Hancock's work suggests that many of Egypt's ancient monuments are part of a larger cosmic blueprint, with the Osiris shaft possibly being another piece of that puzzle. One of the more dramatic aspects of Hancock's theories involves global cataclysms, particularly those caused by comet impacts during the Younger Dryas period, around 12,800 to 11,600 years ago. He proposes that these catastrophic events might have wiped out the advanced civilization he theorizes about. When we look at the water in the lower levels of the Osiris shaft, Hancock might see it as more than just groundwater seepage. He could interpret it as a symbol of the world-altering floods his hypothesized civilization endured.
A single satellite scan over the western Amazon exposed a mistake that lasted for centuries. The rainforest was never empty. Beneath the canopy were perfect geometric enclosures, circles, squares, and long straight corridors carved directly into the earth. In Acre, Brazil alone, archaeologists have now documented more than 450 massive geoglyphs, some over 300 meters wide. These shapes only make sense from the air, forcing an immediate conclusion. The people who built them understood large-scale planning, geometry, and coordination long before modern mapping tools existed. That number changes everything, because building one geoglyph required thousands of hours of organized labor, precise surveying, and long-term maintenance in a humid environment that aggressively erases human marks. Trenches at some sites reach more than 10 meters wide and several meters deep, with raised embankments engineered to hold their form for centuries. These were not isolated efforts. Roads link many of the structures, suggesting regional planning rather than scattered experiments. The surprise deepens when water enters the picture. Across the Bolivian Amazon's Llanos de Moxos, researchers have mapped an enormous system of raised fields, canals, causeways, and artificial mounds designed to survive extreme seasonal flooding. Entire communities were lifted above waterlogged ground. Crops were planted on elevated platforms that drained efficiently while retaining moisture. Causeways stretched for kilometers, staying passable when surrounding land vanished under floodwater. This was landscape-scale engineering built to work with climate cycles, not fight them. Technology is the reason we're only seeing this now. LiDAR scanning, capable of digitally stripping away dense vegetation, revealed settlement networks invisible from the ground. What looked like wilderness resolved into plazas, roads, and neighborhoods laid out with deliberate spacing and orientation. Population estimates jumped dramatically. Some regions once thought capable of supporting only small groups may have housed tens of thousands of people at their peak, organized across vast territories. Then archaeologists realized the soil itself was part of the system. Amazonian dark earth, known as terra preta, is not natural. It was created by mixing charcoal, organic waste, ash, and ceramics into nutrient-poor tropical soil. The result is a self-renewing agricultural medium that remains fertile for thousands of years. Modern farmers still prize it today. This required controlled burning, chemical understanding, and long-term planning. Knowledge refined through generations of experimentation rather than written instruction. Put together, the pattern becomes unavoidable. Geometry carved into land, agriculture raised above floods, soils redesigned to last. These are not traits of temporary settlements. They point to societies that expected to remain, invest, and pass knowledge forward. The forest itself now appears as a constructed environment. Researchers have documented unnatural concentrations of useful trees, plants clustered along ancient travel routes, and rivers modified with fish weirs and corrals that turn seasonal abundance into reliable food supplies. What later explorers described as untouched nature was in reality a managed ecosystem shaped by human decisions over centuries. The rainforest was not simply inhabited, it was engineered. Modern tests stun specialists. Ancient roads resist erosion. Canals regulate sediment naturally. Agricultural fields recover nutrients instead of exhausting them. These systems function without metal tools, engines, or written mathematics. Intelligence here was embedded in practice and landscape, not monuments. It was designed to blend in, not dominate the skyline. So why did this world disappear from memory? Disease and colonial disruption collapsed populations with devastating speed. Forests reclaimed cities. Survivors adapted by simplifying, dispersing, and avoiding contact. Engineering faded back into earth, preserved precisely because it wasn't stone. By the time outsiders arrived, complexity had gone quiet. Today, indigenous communities still live among these landscapes. They are not remnants of a lost civilization, but descendants of one, carrying fragments of ecological knowledge that scientists are only beginning to recognize as sophisticated science. The urgency now is real. Deforestation is exposing new sites while simultaneously destroying them. Every clearing reveals more causeways, fields, and geoglyphs, even as heavy machinery erases them. Researchers are racing to document what remains before it vanishes. The shock is no longer that these systems existed. It's how advanced they were, how long they endured, and how closely they resemble solutions modern engineers now search for: sustainable agriculture, flood control, and resilient design. The Amazon's greatest structures were never meant to rise above the forest. They were meant to disappear into it. And they did, almost perfectly. The engineering left behind by that isolated tribe stunned scientists, because it suggested knowledge no one expected to find so far from the modern world. But deep in the Amazon, researchers claim they've encountered something even more unsettling. A lost tribe so cut off, it's been described as if it never evolved the way the rest of humanity did. Join me as we head into the jungle and follow the evidence into one of the strangest human mysteries on Earth.
What's the most dangerous animal in the Amazon, would you say?
I'm going to disappoint everybody with this, but it's humans. Most of the people that I meet don't actually really understand how isolated these people are. There clearly is a long history of complex civilizations in the Amazon, 100%. They've built something there that when you look up at that mountain, you go, whoa.
Scientists discovered a tribe in the Amazon jungle that never evolved, sparking a renewed fascination with isolated human societies. Among these mysterious groups, the Sentinelese of North Sentinel Island stand out as one of the most intriguing and resilient. Hidden away in the dense forests and protected by treacherous coral reefs, the Sentinelese have lived in near-total isolation for thousands of years, fiercely defending their territory from any outsider who dares to approach. North Sentinel Island is a fascinating and mysterious place located in the Bay of Bengal, nestled between India to the west and Myanmar to the north and east. This island, part of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, spans approximately 59.5 square kilometers, which is about the same size as Manhattan in New York City. The island is covered with a dense tropical rainforest, creating a lush green canopy that hides much of its interior from aerial view. Its coastline is surrounded by coral reefs, forming a natural barrier that makes access by boat exceptionally difficult. These reefs are treacherous, with sharp corals capable of damaging boats, further protecting the island's inhabitants from unwelcome visitors. The waters around North Sentinel Island are clear and rich with marine life, indicating an undisturbed ecosystem. The island itself is relatively flat, with the highest elevations reaching only about 122 meters above sea level. This flat terrain, coupled with its dense forestation, presents a challenging environment for any explorers or researchers who might consider venturing there. Home to one of the world's last uncontacted tribes, the Sentinelese North Sentinel Island is steeped in mystery. The exact population of the Sentinelese is difficult to determine due to their reclusive and hostile nature, but estimates suggest it ranges between 50 and 200 individuals.
Archaeologists have long been captivated by Baalbek, a place described in Roman records as Heliopolis, the city of the sun. Today, it's a landscape of monumental ruins, towering columns, weathered stone platforms, and the remains of temples so vast that even modern builders would struggle to recreate them. But it's what lies beneath the Roman splendor that sparks the greatest intrigue. A foundation made of stone so immense that some researchers once wondered if the Romans themselves had found an older structure and simply built on top of it. The mystery deepens at the Temple of Jupiter, where 3 colossal stones, known collectively as the Trilithon, form part of its foundation. Each of these megaliths weighs around 800 tons. To put that in perspective, the average modern construction crane can lift about 1/10 of that. Yet these stones were perfectly aligned, raised several meters above ground level, and interlocked with astonishing precision. When 19th century explorers first measured them, they were convinced no ancient society could have moved such blocks without advanced technology. Even today, the method used remains uncertain. But just beyond the temple, archaeologists discovered something even more extraordinary. In the 1990s, a German archaeological team, led by the Deutsches Archäologisches Institut, uncovered the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, a single monolith measuring roughly 21 meters long and 4.8 meters high. It was so enormous that early estimates believed it to be the largest stone ever quarried in antiquity. But in 2014, a new survey revealed another stone beneath it, an even larger block weighing nearly 1,650 tons. That's equivalent to 4 fully loaded Airbus A380s stacked together. And here's where the puzzle grows even stranger. Both stones are located uphill from the temple complex, not below it. That means ancient builders would have had to move them downhill without modern machinery, steering these multi-thousand-ton blocks safely into position. Yet, for reasons we still don't fully understand, the final and largest stone was never moved at all. It remains frozen in time, half-carved and perfectly balanced in its quarry bed, as if the workers vanished mid-project. So what could have caused them to stop? Some scholars suggest that the stone was simply too heavy to move and that the builders realized this too late. Others believe construction plans changed, leaving the massive block abandoned. But alternative theories propose something far more mysterious, that Baalbek's foundations predate Roman or even Phoenician occupation, belonging to an earlier, unknown civilization with engineering skills beyond what we typically attribute to the ancient world. The Romans, of course, were master builders. They raised aqueducts, amphitheaters, and fortresses across their empire. Yet even their best records make no mention of transporting 1,000-ton stones at Baalbek. Instead, the Roman historian Pliny the Elder merely noted that large-scale stone moving was done with ingenuity. But ingenuity alone doesn't explain how they lifted and aligned stones that modern cranes would struggle to budge. In recent years, engineers and archaeologists have attempted to reconstruct possible methods. One theory suggests that workers used a system of wooden rollers and lubrication with olive oil, a method used in Egypt to move smaller megaliths. Others propose earth ramps and sledges, combined with teams of oxen and hundreds of men. Yet the terrain at Baalbek complicates every scenario. The quarry lies roughly 900 meters from the temple site, on uneven ground with steep drops. Moving even one of these stones would have required a degree of coordination, manpower, and resource control rivaling the greatest engineering feats in human history. The precision of the placement adds another layer of intrigue. Each trilithon block fits so tightly with its neighbor that not even a razor blade can slide between them. Modern laser measurements reveal alignment accuracy within millimeters, impressive even by today's standards. Such precision suggests advanced planning and surveying techniques, possibly using rudimentary forms of geometry or astronomy. The stone's orientation towards solar patterns has even led some researchers to wonder if Baalbek's construction was tied to celestial cycles, much like Stonehenge or the pyramids of Egypt. Recent archaeological work has shed new light on Baalbek's timeline. Radiocarbon analyses and stratigraphic studies indicate that the earliest parts of the site date back well before the Roman era, possibly as far as the 2nd millennium BCE, when the Canaanites and Phoenicians occupied the region. The Romans may have simply built upon an existing platform whose origins were already ancient. If true, this would make Baalbek one of the longest continuously used sacred sites in human history, with layers of construction spanning over 3,000 years. But the greatest mystery remains unsolved. Who first conceived of building with stones so colossal, and why? Some researchers argue that the oversized blocks were meant as a display of divine power, a literal foundation worthy of the gods. Others see them as the product of symbolic or ritualistic reasoning, where size represented permanence and connection to the heavens. Still, the fact that the largest stone was left behind hints at a sudden change, perhaps a political shift, a natural disaster, or even an exhaustion of resources. Whatever happened, it ended one of history's boldest construction projects before its completion. Today, standing before the quarry, you can still see the unfinished stone glowing under the Lebanese sun. Its edges are sharp, its corners perfect. It feels as if the workers might return any moment, pick up their chisels, and continue the task. It's a monument to ambition, frozen in time. A snapshot of humanity's relentless pursuit to master the impossible. And yet, as modern machines struggle to even lift such a weight, the question remains: What did the ancients know that we've forgotten? Was Baalbek truly a Roman engineering miracle, or the legacy of something far older, a lost chapter of human ingenuity waiting to be rediscovered beneath the dust of centuries? Perhaps the answer still lies buried under that colossal stone, resting quietly on a hill in Lebanon, waiting for someone brave enough to unearth its secret. The 200-ton stone perched on a hill leaves us wondering how ancient builders achieved the impossible. Yet halfway across the world, in the highlands of Bolivia, researchers have uncovered megalithic blocks so precise and massive they defy every known explanation. Join me as we travel to South America to unravel a mystery that challenges the very limits of ancient engineering.
I think that the city of Tiwanaku is one of the most mysterious sites in the world. In a way, it's the New World equivalent of Giza. It's a site about which there are far more questions than answers. All these names that are given to structures at Tiwanaku are entirely arbitrary because we know nothing about the people who built Tiwanaku.
The discovery of the Tiwanaku and Pumapunku archaeological sites near Lake Titicaca in western Bolivia is one of the most intriguing chapters in the annals of archaeology.
The handiwork of humans is clearly evident in this site.
These sites, renowned for their massive stone structures and intricate carvings, were first brought to the attention of the Western world by Spanish conquistadors and chroniclers in the 16th century. However, it wasn't until the late 19th and early 20th centuries that systematic archaeological exploration began. How could humans have had such advanced technology to create these structures?
Very ancient structures, thousands of years older than archaeologists suppose, may be hiding in plain view.
The precision and scale of the stonework at these sites suggest the use of techniques and tools that should have been impossible for ancient civilizations. The question remains, not only how were these megalithic blocks meticulously crafted, but also how were they transported across vast distances without the aid of modern machinery?
Some people think that the answer is extraterrestrial visitors. I don't think that's the answer, but who knows?
The first detailed account of Tiwanaku was provided by Spanish chronicler Pedro Chiesa de León in 1549. During his travels through the Andes, Chiesa de León encountered the ruins and documented them in his book Crónicas del Perú. He described the monumental stone structures and pondered the origins of such an advanced civilization, speculating about the mysterious builders. In the late 19th century, French archaeologist Ephraim George Squire conducted some of the earliest scientific explorations of the site. Squire's work, published in his book Peru, Incidents of Travel and Exploration in the Land of the Incas, which came out in 1877, it brought international attention to Tiwanaku.